Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my everyday makeup drawer for June and also going over what I had in here for May and giving you reviews on all the products that I've used. I did only actually have a chance to use this everyday makeup drawer for approximately 2 weeks of this month, as I was in Canada for 2 weeks of the month as well. But there's not many products in here that are actually new to me, so I do know my thoughts on them anyway. So let's get started. I will first of all start with the foundations. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define foundation. I didn't actually use this once. I do know that I have problems with this when my skin is especially dry, and to be honest this month it has been pretty dry, so I didn't find myself reaching for this because I just knew it would cling to the dry patches. I do actually find that this applies nice to my kind of cheeks and chin area, but I really struggle with it settling into the fine lines on my forehead. So for that reason, I just didn't feel comfortable reaching for it, because the times when I was applying foundation, it usually was to go out and I didn't have enough time to apply this, it not work, and have to put the foundation on anyway. So I am taking it out, but I will put it back in probably more in the summer months when I'm less dry and give it another go then. The other foundation is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow foundation, and I think I've not got an awful lot of product left in here now. It's feeling very light, which is good because I did just pick up another one, and I'm glad that I did, because after using this quite a few times this month I've realised that how much I did love it compared to the more recent foundations that I've tried. I did find on a couple of occasions that it did stick to dry patches and I would struggle a little bit with it breaking up on my nose, but provided I used the primer, which I'm going to pull out in a second, and I actually did use this, I found that it was okay in the end. That was the kind of combination that I went for, plus obviously my skincare routine, staying on top of that and keeping my skin hydrated the night before I was applying it. So really love this foundation, but if you've seen my recent hauls, I do have a couple of new foundations to try, so we'll be taking this one out as well. And just to dig out the primer while I was talking about it, this is the Smashbox Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. I'm really enjoying using this and found that it does do wonders for the longevity of foundation and does make it really smooth. I do have a slight bit of texture on my cheeks, but this sorts that out so that it's not as obvious. I will be keeping this in for next month because I kind of don't like not using it now. Apologies for the state of my nails, by the way. I did have my nails painted with that new, I think it's Nailberry nail polish that I got in my recent Glossybox, but it did chip quite badly, so I thought I'd rather have nothing on my nails than have really badly chipped nail varnish, so I have took that off. And I knew if I put something on right on top of filming I'd end up smudging it, so I've gone for the bare nail look, but once I've done this I will be putting more nail varnish on. So back to this, I will now go over concealers. My usual staple Yves Saint Laurent Touche Éclat concealer. I'm in the shade 1 Fair. If you've watched my past videos of these, you'll know that I absolutely love this product, cannot cope without it. Didn't think it would see out the month. Obviously not being here for 2 weeks of it has meant I've got longer out of it, but I do think it is on its last legs. As I'm pulling things out, I'm noticing speckles of concealer on them. That is down to my Catrice Liquid Camouflage concealer. It has started to leak terribly, and I did have it in here at one point because I took it on holiday with me, and when I brought it back I automatically threw it in here because it's been in there for a couple of months and it has unfortunately exploded on a lot of my makeup, so I'm trying to rub it off as I go, but that's what the random specks of concealer are on them. But definitely keeping this one in for next month because I cannot cope without it, and I'm wondering at what point I'm going to finish it. The other concealer we have is the Collection Lasting Perfection, and this is the one that's in the shade 1 Fair, but it's a new shade. I don't think this is as good of a shade match for me as the previous shade was, even though they were both the shade 1 Fair. This is definitely more yellow toned than that one was, so I don't think it covers my imperfections as good as that one did, so I haven't reached for this one an awful lot, to be honest. The few times that I've needed to cover blemishes or anything, I've actually just ended up putting my Touche Éclat on because that is such a much better shade match. So I'm definitely going to be taking this out for next month, but I have only just opened it. It's a shame to throw it straight away, but I will keep it for emergencies. Then we have the complexion products. First of all is this Tarte blush. Yet another casualty to the Catrice concealer. This one is in the shade Harmony. It is everywhere. And this one I've not made too much of a dent from last month. Again, not used it for an awful lot of time, but I don't want to take it out because I'm now determined to finish this. I did purchase a new blush from Flower Beauty, which I was going to put in here instead of this, but I feel like if I take it out, I'm just never going to get around to finishing it, and I will get such satisfaction of actually getting to the bottom of this entire pan. So for now, this is staying in. The other blush we have is the Balm Frat Boy blush, and this one is a slightly darker blush, and it's what I use more for when I go on a night out. I'm going to keep this one in as well, to be honest, because I have been really enjoying it, and I just think it's a really nice spring and summer shade because it is that little bit of a brighter pink. So I will keep this in for the next month, but I might switch it up a bit more next month, especially with me keeping the two same ones in for a few months now. Highlighter wise, this is the Balm Mary Luminizer. I think this has been in here since the very beginning. This is my go-to daily highlighter, but actually, shock horror, I am going to take this out for a change. I do want to switch it up in some respects, and I just couldn't do it with the blush section, so I'm going to do it with my highlighting section. And for the first time, I think since I started this, I'm going to take this one out for next month and stick something new in. The other highlighter I have is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow in the shade Blossom Glow. I was going to switch this one back to the other one that I have, which the name has just escaped me, but I do really enjoy this one. It is slightly more icy pink colour than the other one. The other one's more of a goldy one. I think this kind of suits more this time of year, so I am going to keep this in. Kind of wish I had picked up another one of these now because I do really like them and they have quite a good array of shades, but yeah, this one's staying in for next month. Bronzer wise, we have the Hoola Benefit Bronzer. I've actually reached for this quite a few times this month. I think for the first time since it's been in there. I'm now slowly fading the word Hoola. It has been deeply indented for a long time, so because of that I am actually going to keep this one in, even though I did purchase a new bronzer from Milani, but I want to make a bit more of a dent on this one before I break that one open. For my under eye setting powder, this is the e.l.f. HD under eye setting powder, and this is one that is also in Project Pan, which an update should be getting posted in the next week. I'm really getting towards the bottom of this now, so, but this one will be staying in because this is definitely a staple and I can't live without this one, but don't worry, I do have a backup once this runs out. Then for the eye primer, I've been using this NYX glitter primer, and I have been having a few issues with this. I've not quite got the technique down with it yet. I'm struggling to blend crease shades. If I apply this at the beginning of the look, I need to kind of apply it in the middle, but then I'm finding that my crease shade isn't lasting as long, so I do want a primer that I can just put all over the eye and not have to think about doing it halfway through, because that's when I'm more or less likely to forget because I'm in the process of applying my eyeshadow already. So I'm going to take this one out for now, but it may come back in because it is a really good primer. For my brow product, we yet again have been attacked by concealer. This is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil, and I also think this one is coming towards the end, but I do believe I have another one in backup. I will check though, because I don't think I could cope without this one, so obviously for that reason this is going forward. I have this in the shade 3, and I have noticed that they've recently extended their shade range with the 0.5s. And I was watching a video of Samantha March's where she said she normally wears 3 but has since tried 2.5, and that is actually a better match for her. I don't know if that might be the same case for me, because I do have to sometimes go quite light-handed with this, otherwise it can look too dark. When I'm going on a night out I don't mind, but for my day-to-day look I do generally just glaze it over my eyebrows. So it might be worth a try. I might see if I can just maybe get a mini of the 2.5 just to see what that's like, and if that's a better shade but I can still apply it darker for a night out if I want, then that might be a bit better for me. But in the meantime I am still really enjoying using shade 3. For eyeliner, I've been using the Makeup Revolution Renaissance Flick eyeliner, and this is a really good eyeliner. I had forgotten how much I actually like this. It is very similar to the Colourpop one in that it is a quite dry formula, or drier than the NYX Epic Ink Say or the Tarte Man-Eater, but you do have quite a lot of control in it. I'm not very good at distinguishing between a brush tip and a felt tip liner. Whenever I see pictures of them, they look exactly the same. So it might be the case that Epic Ink and Man-Eater are brush tip, whereas this and the Colourpop are felt tip liners. If anyone has any insight to that, please let me know, because I'm intrigued and I just keep forgetting to look it up. It's a really nice eyeliner. It is slightly more matte than the other ones that I do have. Again, it does remind me of the Colourpop one. I do rate them probably on the same level in that I do really like them, but they're not my absolute favourite. I do have a new eyeliner to try, so this one is coming out for next month. And the other eyeliner I have is the Milani Stay Put, and this is in the shade Hooked on Espresso, which is the brown one. The few times that I did reach for this, I found that I just couldn't get it to last as long in my waterline as usual. I don't know if I've had excessively watery eyes, maybe because it is coming into allergy season, that it's been wearing off more, but I don't remember having that issue before, so I think I'm going to keep this in for next month because I'm intrigued to see if it does get progressively worse, because I can tell that I am slightly suffering from allergies a bit, and if it does get worse then I know it is because of that, and it's not as good as I possibly thought it was. Here's the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Having reached for this quite a lot this month, I don't hate it as I once did. Hate was always a strong word to use, but I did really hate using this. But now I'll put up with it, which is definitely an improvement. I still can't bear the smell of it, but if I'm honest, it does actually work. I do feel like I get longer out of my makeup and it doesn't break makeup apart as quick if I use this. So I'm going to keep it in here because I won't say I've been enjoying using it, but it's been serving its purpose more than it has in the past. I just can't give it a break, can I? Then for the eyeshadow palettes, the first one we have here is the Makeup Revolution Ocean Treasures one. And this was the one I got with the heart one, which I think is called Heartbeats. And it is a double-sided eyeshadow palette with blues, greens, pinks, golds and all sorts in. I don't rate this one as much as I rate the Heartbeats one. I just really had trouble getting the colour payoff with this one as much as I did with the Heartbeats one, which I found quite surprising considering it is supposed to be from the same line. So I thought the formula would have been the same, but I suppose they are different types of shades. Also, the shape of the pan is really annoying, especially when you're trying to apply some of the shimmers with your finger. You can't quite get in there properly without bumping it around the edges and putting eyeshadow everywhere. With the heart one, because they were heart shapes, I'd find I'd kind of rub my finger in a V shape and I'd have plenty of product, whereas this, I feel like I have to really dig to get enough on, get the colour payoff, and still I'm not getting it as much. This shade down here, Mother of Pearl, is probably the one I've reached for the most and is a gorgeous shade, and a couple of times I've worn this I've had compliments on it. So it's not all bad, it's just not as good as the Heartbeats one, but I'm never going to get rid of it because I just absolutely love the packaging, but that's just my thoughts on it. So taking this one out for next month. Then we have the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette. I hardly reach for this one. Again, I know I was only doing it for 2 weeks, so if maybe I'd done the full month I might have reached for it more, but I think I used this once, and even then I only kind of dipped into these two shades anyway. I'm going to take this one out for next month. I nearly was keeping it in because of one of the newer palettes that I'm putting in. I thought it might accompany it nicely, but I found an alternative to that, so I am going to take this one out. But still really like the palette. I think I'm more self-conscious when I wear purple, and I don't like doing an all purple look. I'll kind of just reach in this for an accent shade, or sometimes just for the outer corner shades with these two. But I do like it, and I am glad I purchased it to kind of get out of my comfort zone. And then we have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and this has quickly become one of my favourite eyeshadow palettes. When I first got this, I just didn't rate it at all, and I think it was for the sole reason that I found it completely intimidating. But putting it up against two other palettes that I haven't really enjoyed, plus in the other months I've used it, I think that same thing's happened. It's been against palettes that I haven't enjoyed as much, and it's just made this one shine a bit more. When I didn't have this in my everyday makeup drawer for a couple of months, I did miss it, which I took to be a sign that I did really like it. Don't get me wrong, I don't use every single shade in here. I pretty much don't touch the bottom row or anything here. Just stuck my finger in it, that was clever. I do mainly tend to stick to these top 3 rows, but I do have a good go in quite a lot of the shades on the top 3 rows. I probably dig into these two the most for my kind of crease shade, and then one of my favourite shimmer shades for the lid is probably this one. This one's starting to get a bit of a dent in it now. I have used it that much. But generally, yeah, I really like this palette, and I am pretty glad that I picked it up, because it used to be, I say, intimidating, but now if I'm struggling for a look in another palette, I do reach for this one because I know my go-to looks in this palette, and there are a few. and not just one look, because obviously the versatility to it. So I know I'm going to miss it for next month, but I am taking it out because I have other palettes to give some love to, so I'm going to take it out. To mascaras. First of all, we have the Essence Lash Princess mascara. This is the false lash effect one, and this is one of my favourite mascaras. It is one of the ones that I reach for when I do want a more dramatic look. It's either between this or the Benefit Bad Gal Bang. So definitely a favourite. Recently repurchased another one because I think I've had this one open for a while now. I still think I've got a little bit of time left in it, but I am going to take it out for next month because I have enough mascaras that I purchased to fill this box back up, so I'm going to take this one out, but definitely one of my all-time favourites. We then have this 17 mascara, which appears to have taken the brunt of the concealer, and this is one that I believe is now discontinued, not just this mascara but the brand as a whole, and I'm not overly upset because I did not really rate this mascara. I found that its brush was really sharp and not painful to use, but you could feel it going through every single lash, which is not something that I want to go for. So I don't think I'm going to bin it completely because it's definitely not the worst mascara I've ever tried, and it is a shame to bin it after only using it a handful of times. So I will keep it for now, but this is one that I will definitely be keeping an eye on, and once it gets towards the 3 months I will probably get rid of it if I haven't reached for it again. Then we have this Maybelline Snap Mascara. I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I didn't really have any feelings going into it. I hadn't heard anything about it. Quite nice to go into a mascara without any sort of preconceptions, is that the word? But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with it. When I first opened it and seeing the shape of the brush, I didn't think I'd be able to get on board with it because it is quite bent and quite flared at one end, but it fits my eye perfectly. That is an issue that I sometimes have with the Lash Princess, in that the one's a little bit too long for my eye and is so straight, whereas this one I could kind of put it on an angle and it would coat every single lash with the perfect amount of product. So yes, really rate this mascara, and is definitely one I would consider purchasing in the future once this one has run out. Again, I have a lot of new mascaras to try, so we'll be taking it out, but would recommend this one from what I've tried. It is also really easy to take off at the end of the night. But yeah, definitely rate this one. This is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara, and I am really on the fence with this one. It is a really nice mascara. It does give a really nice effect. It applies easily. It's got quite a nice brush to it. It is quite smudgy. I really struggle if I apply this to my lower lashes. To be honest, most of the times I wear this, I don't bother because it does smudge. I felt like it was quite easy to take off, but every single time I've used this, no matter how much I scrub my eyes the night before, I always wake up with panda eyes. It would look like going to bed that I didn't have any mascara left on my eyes, but would somehow produce some overnight and would wake up with quite bad panda eyes. So it's a shame because it is a good mascara, but it is obviously a high-end mascara, so it's not one I will be running out to purchase. But if I did ever come across another sample of it, I would happily use it because I do like it, but I can't get past the panda eyes and the smudginess really. The lip products. First one we have is this Too Faced Melted Liquefied Longwear Lipstick, and this is in the shade Chihuahua. I hadn't reached for this for a long time, so this was in here purely to give it some love. I do really like the formula of this. It is a really nice shade, but I think this might be on its way out. It doesn't smell as good as it once did. It doesn't smell bad, it just doesn't smell as good. So I think I'm going to get a second opinion and ask a friend if they think it's gone off, and then we'll obviously get rid of it. But I do think it's coming towards the end of its shelf life, which is a shame because it is really nice, and I still think I have quite a bit of product left in it. But I do believe I've had my money's worth out of it if I do need to get rid of it. Then we have the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte, and this is in the shade Venus. Really like the formula of these. If I didn't have so many lipsticks on the go, I would purchase another one. I know I have recently purchased lipsticks, but they were drugstore. I don't mind purchasing numerous drugstore ones to try formulas out of. When it comes to high end, it does take quite a bit for me to purchase high end ones, which is stupid because I probably end up purchasing 3 drugstore ones that I don't necessarily love when I could just purchase one high end one where I know I love the formula. Another reason is I also can't decide on the next shade to purchase, but yeah, really like the formula of this. It is really long lasting and is really comfortable, and this is probably close to my perfect nude, I would say. We then have a new favourite in my collection. This is the NYX Liquid Suede, and it is in the shade Soft Spoken. I hadn't tried this formula before, and out of all the NYX formulas that I've tried, I think they have Lip Lingerie and then the, is it Soft Matte Creams? And out of those 3 formulas, I'd say this is my favourite. The only issue I have with it is that the applicator is not the most precise, because it is quite flat and it does get quite a lot of product on it, so it's quite hard to kind of do a precise application. But provided if you go over the lip line, you wipe it off quite quickly, it doesn't overly smudge or look terrible or anything. But it is a really nice shade and it is so comfortable. I never notice when it wears off. Yes, it isn't the longest lasting, you definitely don't get all day out of it, but because of the way it fades down gradually, you don't notice it missing, kind of thing, because my lips feel the same when I'm wearing it and when I'm not, if that makes sense. Again, once I've got my lip collection down, would definitely consider purchasing another one of these. They do have a lot of shades though, so that would be my dilemma once again, but would recommend this formula. Then we have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Bullet Matte Lipstick in the shade Rosewood. I don't like this lipstick at all. It's a nice shade. It's a bit darker than what I would normally wear, but it just drags terrible trying to apply it. It takes 10 times longer to apply this than it does any other bullet lipstick that I own, because it does just drag. And even though it's got quite a precise point on it, I just can't seem to get it right when applying it. Maybe I need to try it with a lip liner, I don't know, but I don't like this at all. I'm glad I didn't pay full price, but because it is a high-end one, I will keep it because it is a nice shade, and once it's on it does look nice and it does last a decent amount of time, but just the application process, it just takes forever and it is pretty uncomfortable, which I know most matte bullet lipsticks are a bit more uncomfortable than a liquid one, but I just don't rate this and I wouldn't rush out to purchase another one. And then finally we have this Dose of Colours Liquid Lip, and I think this is in the shade, it's either Truffle or Honey something. I'm so bad, the labels fell off the bottom and I really can't remember the shade of this. And this is one that I'd completely forgotten was in my everyday makeup drawer until I was looking at my thumbnail from last month and spotted it. This has been in one of my handbags that I use to go out for the night in. I think I'd obviously put it on when I've been putting my makeup on, threw it in my handbag and just never took it out again. But for the past week since I've been back from holiday and I've been looking for a lipstick of a morning, I've been thinking I'm sure I would have put one more in because I don't seem to have much choice, and this was the one that was missing, so I've probably only used this a couple of times before I went away, and then I've just literally got it out of my bag now. Really love the formula of these. This is probably one of my favourite shades out of the two. I know I like Truffle and I like, that's what it is, it's Truffle, it's not Honey something. Truffle and Stone are the shades that I like, and this is Truffle. I think I prefer this ever so slightly to Stone because Stone's a bit more cool toned. I would consider purchasing a full size one of these, but again, because it's a higher end one, even though I know which shade I want, I think I'll try and wait till my collection is down a bit more, or if I see one on sale. But yeah, I really like this formula. So now on to my picks for June. First of all, I'm just going to put back all the items that I'm carrying over. Okay, so these are all the items I'm taking over, and I'll show you the new ones that I'm putting in. Most of these are from my Canada and American haul and are still in their boxes. So I'm going to put them in a matte state, then obviously as I'm starting to use them, they will be getting slowly unpackaged. I am quite bad for hoarding packaging though, so I need to remember to put them in the bin and not be a terrible hoarder. Starting with foundations, I'm going to stick in this Flower Beauty Light Illusion, and this is in the shade Ivory L2. I do already have this in my collection in the shade L1, which is a tad too light and slightly yellow tone for me, so I'm hoping this is a better shade match. If you didn't see my haul video, I was devastated to find that this had already been opened and someone had swatched from it. Hopefully too much isn't gone from it and it isn't contaminated, shall we say, but really keen to give this one a go because I did like the formula of L1, it just never quite looked right, so hopefully it was just the shade that was the issue and not the actual formula. Then also going to give this Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation a go. I've never tried a cushion foundation before. It does say it's liquid foundation. I presume it's just easier application. I'm not too sure. I like that it contains coconut because I do like the scent coconut. But yeah, I'm just trying this because I'm intrigued, and because I know I like the formula of this, I don't mind taking the gamble too much. Forgot the first step before foundation. I'm going to also try this Wet n Wild coconut primer water. But I am keeping in this, which I've just actually put in the wrong pile. So I am keeping that primer in, but I might just try this on its own once, and then if it doesn't work as well, I will use the Smashbox one the next time with it. So just with it being a spray, I'm not too sure how good it's going to be, but I'd like to give it a go, and I have sprayed this one. This one has been opened and it does smell so nice. My everyday highlighter, I'm going to put in this Benefit Gold Rush. This is one that I got in the Blush Bunch set, which I did actually feature in my makeup I haven't got my money's worth out of, for the sole reason that I haven't opened it since Christmas. I put this in my bag when I was going to see the Spice Girls last week because I wanted to take a highlighter, and all my highlighters I have are full size, whereas I think this is supposed to be kind of blush highlighter hybrid. It's like a peachy highlighter on me, so I did stick this in and it did look really nice, so that's why I want to carry on using it for this month. It is quite subtle. My only issue is the scent. I asked my husband for that set for Christmas. I hadn't seen it in person. I hadn't appreciated that every single item in it is scented. So when I open up the plastic tube, I do get hit with quite a lot of different scents. And I think this one might be the strongest one in there. I'm hoping the scent wears off after a while because it's not the nicest, but I can't put my finger on what it is. It does say it's a nectar blush, so maybe it's peach scented, but it doesn't smell like the nicest peach. But keen to give this one a go properly and not just wear it for one day. Although, true testament to it, it rained so much when we were at the Spice Girls, and when I got home I could still see this on my cheeks, so it does appear to be a good product. For setting powders, I'm going to stick in the Maybelline Fit Me, and I've got the shade Fair Light. I have used this a couple of times and I did really like it. I did feel like it helped just finish off the look, and where I kind of problem areas, it will give me that extra bit of coverage without me applying liquid foundation too much and it ending up looking cakey. So from what I've tried so far, I'm really enjoying it and wanted to stick this in here. I'm going to run out of room here soon with everything being in its packaging. Then on to eyeliner, and I'm going to put in the Physicians Formula Ultra Fine Liquid Eyeliner with Lash Conditioning Serum. I still haven't really looked into that yet, but I'm keen to give it a go and see if it does anything to improve my lashes. It just says on the back, high-tech formula enhances the appearance of lashes while providing definition of liquid eyeliner. Lash boosting complex applied to the base of the lashes is most effective in improving lash appearance. Still don't quite get it, but keen to give it a go anyway. Then mascara wise, first one we have is this CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. This is probably the one I'm most excited to try, as it's the one I've heard raved about the most recently. I did get the shade Black Brown. I don't know if it comes in just black. I didn't see when I was in store, so hopefully it's a dark enough mascara because I do like my mascaras quite black, but we'll give this one a go. Then we have the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. Another one I'm keen to give a go because I am going to be comparing it to the Lash Paradise version we have here, which is called the Lash Paradise Ecstatic. I wasn't a massive fan of that formula. If it is the same, then this just isn't for me, but I did want to give a comparison because it's this one. Obviously I watch a lot of American YouTubers. It's this one that I see everyone rave about. I don't ever see any British YouTubers rave about our version, so keen to do a comparison. And then the final one is the Flower Beauty Lash Warrior. I know they have a new version of this now, but this is just the original one. Again, another one that I've heard quite a few things about and it's always spoken of quite highly, so keen to give this one a go. I did say this in my haul video, but I honestly just don't see the point in these empty boxes of nothingness. They surely could have just put that information somewhere in the blank space on the back or something. I know it's advertising, but that to me just seems like a waste of plastic. I'll get off my high horse now. Mascara is this Wet n Wild Super Skinny one, and this is just going to be used for my lower lash line. I will try these on my lower lash line as well, but I just wanted to give this one a go as well. Then on to eyeshadow palettes. The first one is this soft camo one from Primark, and this is the one that I purchased to take on holiday with me because I thought it would be a bit different from what I normally have. As you can see, I never even touched it. I did just solely reach into the chocolate bar palette while I was over there and just didn't feel the need to reach for this because this is a bit more shimmery and a bit more glam. So I thought I would stick this in, otherwise it's going to end up in the back of a drawer, not used at all. So I thought I'd like to give it at least one use. Then we have the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This isn't one of my most favourite eyeshadow palettes in my collection, and I do feel like it is a bit of a chore to use it. I do struggle to think of a look when opening it because quite a few of the shades are quite dark, and for me I do generally just wear everyday eyeshadow, so this tends to be my comfort zone. If I didn't put it in here I wouldn't actively seek it out to use it, so it's probably best in this everyday makeup drawer, so I will use it. And then the final eyeshadow palette to stick in is a new purchase that literally arrived on my doorstep this morning. It is a palette that was featured in my eyeshadow palette I talked myself out of. I also mentioned that I had swatched it while in the States. I got a discount code and I couldn't help myself. It is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. Straight off the bat, this is going to end up filthy, I just know it, but see, literally it's still got its plastic sheet on. This is just so pretty, and I can't wait to break into this after swatching it and seeing just how creamy these shimmers were across the top. I just can't wait. One thing I want to comment on though, it may just be me, but my rose gold seems to be only half full. These are sort of not quite shy across the top, but this one seems to not be completely full, which is a shame because it's probably going to be the shade that I'm going to reach for most often, I would say, along with this Dreamer shade here. But yeah, I can't wait to break into this one. And I think I was never going to purchase it full price, but at the down the day I bought it, Feel Unique had 20% off, which covered Anastasia Beverly Hills, which their discount codes normally don't, and then I had a gift voucher as well, so I think I only ended up paying £30 for this instead of 43. For that price I couldn't not get it. Then on to lipsticks. This video seems longer than usual, I apologise. And I've just spotted my trusty Milani eyeshadow primer in amongst my lipsticks, so this is one that I'm putting back in as I took out that NYX one. Now on to lip products. So we have a few new ones to my collection, being the Physicians Formula Healthy Lip, and this one is in the shade Bear With Me. It looks like quite a nice nudie, pinky, slightly orangey shade, and excited to give this one a go as I haven't tried anything from Physicians Formula at all before. I will sort this out in a minute. Another new one that we have is this Colourpop Luxe lipstick, and this is in the shade Layover, which, looking at the sticker on the front, I would have said it was more of a pink shade. When actually opening it, it is an orangey brown shade. I think I did swatch it in store and I did like it, but I just really love the Luxe lipstick formula, so I'm happy to have another one of these, plus the one I already have is pink anyway, so a nude is good. I'm so bad at this, I've just spotted this. This is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer, and I got it in the shade Light 16. I didn't even realise I was missing a concealer. Again, this is one that I did swatch in store, but having got home it does look quite light, but I think it was okay. So keen to give this one a go. Worst case I can drag out that Catrice from wherever I've thrown that. But I have heard good things about this concealer anyway, so we'll see how we get on with that. Then the final few lip products. First one is this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea in the shade Surfs Up. This is another one to my Project Pan, very nearly towards the end there. Again, that video will be getting uploaded I think in the next week or so. But hence the reason why it's in here, because I'm not as far down it as I'd hoped I would be, so I want to desperately try and get it finished. And then we have Stila Stay All Day, and this is in the shade Patina. Out of the few of these that I've tried, this is probably the favourite shade that I have. Out of all the lip products I've put in for this month, I haven't got any proper pink ones, so that's why I wanted to throw this one in. And then finally we have this Tarte Lippy Lingerie, and this is in the shade Exposed. This is quite a nice peachy nude and is ideal for spring and summer, so that's why I wanted to put this one in. So that is it for the products that I'm going to be trying in the month of June. Obviously a lot of these are new to me. Hopefully there are some hits in there, but I will give you my update at the end of the month. I am probably going to do a general overhaul of the makeup items that I purchased in Canada and the US. There will obviously be some overlap between that and the update at the end of the month, but there are obviously products that I haven't put into this that I do want to try some other time, and then once I've tried everything I will put a video together, so that will probably be a month or so anyway. But if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.